In the bustling heart of New York City, where skyscrapers pierced the sky like ambitious dreams, Alexander Harrington sat alone in his corner office on the 50th floor of Harrington Enterprises. At 45, he was the epitome of success, a self-made CEO whose tech empire had revolutionized data security, making him one of the wealthiest men in the world. But success came at a price. 3 years ago, he had lost his wife, Elena, to a sudden illness. She was his anchor, the woman who had turned his chaotic ambition into something meaningful. Her laughter still echoed in his mind, her gentle touch a ghost that haunted his sleepless nights. Since then, Alexander had buried himself in work, avoiding the world that reminded him of her absence. Dates? Impossible. Love? A distant memory. One rainy evening, after a grueling board meeting, Alexander found himself wandering the streets, seeking solace in the anonymity of the crowd. He ducked into a small, unassuming diner called Bella's Bistro, tucked away in a quiet alley. The place was warm, with checkered tablecloths and the aroma of fresh coffee mingling with homemade pies. It was nothing like the upscale restaurants he frequented for business deals, but something about it felt comforting, like a hug from the past. Behind the counter was Lily Thompson, a 32-year-old waitress with a smile that could light up the dimmest room. Her auburn hair cascaded in soft waves, framing eyes that sparkled with quiet resilience. Lily had her own scars, abandoned by her fiancé 2 years ago after he found someone more exciting. She had poured her heart into her job and her younger sister, Mia, whom she was raising alone after their parents' passing. Money was tight, dreams deferred, but Lily found joy in the small things, a kind customer's tip, Mia's laughter, or the satisfaction of a well-served meal. Alexander ordered a black coffee and a slice of apple pie, barely glancing up from his phone. But when Lily placed the plate in front of him, he froze. Her voice, soft, melodic, with a hint of warmth, sounded just like Elena's. He looked up, and his heart skipped. The way she tilted her head, the curve of her smile, even the freckles across her nose, it was uncanny. Not identical, but a reminder so vivid it stole his breath. "Enjoy your pie, sir," she said, oblivious to the storm brewing in his chest. He couldn't eat. He watched her move through the diner, chatting with regulars, refilling cups with effortless grace. Memories flooded him, Elena in their kitchen, humming as she baked. The pain was sharp, but beneath it, a flicker of hope. For the first time in years, he felt alive. As the diner emptied, Alexander gathered his courage. He approached the counter, his hands trembling slightly. "Excuse me," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "This might sound insane, but you remind me so much of someone I lost. My wife. Could you be my date for just one day? No strings, I promise. I just need to remember what it feels like to not be alone." Lily stared at him, her eyes widening in shock. "I'm sorry, what? I think you have the wrong person." She laughed nervously, wiping her hands on her apron. Who was this man? Handsome, yes, with salt and pepper hair and piercing blue eyes, but his request was absurd. She had heard lines before, but this one cut deeper. It wasn't flirtation, it was desperation. "Please," Alexander begged, his CEO facade crumbling. "I'll pay you. Whatever you need. $1,000. 2. Just one day. Lunch, a walk in the park, dinner. That's all." His voice cracked, revealing the widower beneath the tycoon. Lily hesitated. $1,000 could cover Mia's school fees, fix the leaky roof. But it felt wrong, like exploiting grief. "Why me?" she asked softly. "Because looking at you, it's like seeing her again. Just for a moment." Against her better judgment, Lily agreed. "One day. That's it." She didn't know it then, but that decision would unravel both their lives. The next morning, Alexander arrived at the diner in a sleek black car, dressed casually in jeans and a sweater, a far cry from his boardroom suits. Lily stepped out in a simple sundress, her heart pounding. "Where to?" she asked, sliding into the passenger seat. "Central Park," he replied with a tentative smile. As they drove, silence hung heavy. Alexander broke it first. Elena loved the park. We'd picnic there every Sunday. He shared stories of their life together, how they met in college, built his company side by side, dreamed of a family that never came. Lily listened, her empathy growing. She saw the man behind the wealth, broken, lonely, clinging to fragments of joy. In the park, they walked along winding paths, leaves crunching underfoot. Alexander had packed a basket, sandwiches, fruit, Elena's favorite wine. "Tell me about you," he urged, wanting to escape his own sorrow. Lily opened up reluctantly. "I'm just a waitress trying to make ends meet. My sister Mia, she's 16, full of fire. Our parents died in a car accident 5 years ago. I gave up my art degree to take care of her." She spoke of her ex, the betrayal that left her guarded. "Love? It's a risk I can't afford anymore." Alexander nodded, understanding all too well. Loss changes you. Makes you afraid to feel. As they sat by the fountain, he reached for her hand, not romantically, but for comfort. Lily didn't pull away. For the first time, she felt seen, not just as a server, but as a person with dreams buried under responsibility. But challenges loomed. Midway through lunch, Alexander's phone buzzed incessantly, urgent emails from work. He ignored them at first, but the pressure built. "I'm sorry," he muttered, stepping away to take a call. Lily watched, feeling like an intruder in his world. Was this just a fantasy? A rich man's whim? When he returned, frustration etched his face. "A deal's falling apart. I have to go to the office." Lily's heart sank. Of course. This was silly anyway. "No," he said firmly. "Come with me. See my life." Reluctantly, she agreed. At Harrington Enterprises, employees stared as the CEO entered with a mystery woman. In his office, Alexander paced, barking orders into the phone. Lily sat quietly, but when he slammed down the receiver in defeat, she spoke up. "You're pushing too hard. Remember why you started this, for Elena, right?" She believed in balance. Her words hit home, echoing Elena's advice. Alexander paused, then reworked the deal with a calmer approach. "It worked." "How did you know?" he asked, amazed. "Because I see you," Lily replied. Not the CEO, but the man grieving. As the day progressed, they faced another hurdle, vulnerability. Over dinner at a cozy Italian restaurant, Alexander shared his darkest fear. "I blame myself for Elena's death. I was always working, never there when she needed me." Tears welled in his eyes. Lily reached across the table. "You can't carry that forever. She wouldn't want you to." She confessed her own guilt, pushing away friends after her parents' death, fearing more loss. "We're both hiding, aren't we?" In that moment, connection sparked. Not romance, not yet, but healing. They laughed over pasta, shared stories of happier times. Alexander felt the weight lift, if only slightly. Lily saw possibility beyond her struggles. But the day wasn't without conflict. As night fell, they strolled through Times Square, lights dazzling around them. A paparazzo snapped photos, Alexander Harrington with an unknown woman. Whispers followed. Lily panicked. "This isn't my world. People will think I'm after your money." Alexander stopped, facing her. "I don't care what they think. Today, you've given me more than money ever could, hope." He pulled her into a gentle hug, whispering, "Thank you." Yet, doubt crept in for Lily. Back at her apartment, dropping her off, she hesitated at the door. "This was just one day, right? We can't pretend forever." Alexander's eyes pleaded. What if it's not pretending? What if this is a second chance? She closed the door softly, heart torn. That night, both lay awake, replaying the day. Alexander realized Lily wasn't Elena, she was her own person, strong and kind in ways that mended his soul. Lily saw Alexander not as a beggar of memories, but as a man worth knowing. The next morning, Lily woke to a knock. Alexander stood there, holding a bouquet and a sketchpad, her old dream of art. I don't want just one day, he said. I want to know you, Lily. The real you. Tears streamed down her face. I'm scared. So am I, he admitted. But together, maybe we can heal. Their journey wasn't easy. Challenges arose, media scrutiny painted Lily as a gold digger, testing her resolve. Alexander's workaholic tendencies clashed with her need for stability. Mia was wary at first, fearing another loss for her sister. But through open conversations and small acts of kindness, they resolved them. Alexander cut back hours, funding Lily's art classes. Lily introduced him to simple joys, like family dinners with Mia. Slowly, love blossomed, not as a replacement, but as something new. Months later, at Elena's grave, Alexander introduced Lily. She'd have loved you, he said. Lily placed flowers, whispering, thank you for sharing him. Their story became one of redemption, proof that grief doesn't define us, that second chances come in unexpected forms. Alexander learned to live again, building a foundation with Lily based on mutual respect. She pursued her art, exhibiting pieces inspired by their day together. Mia thrived, seeing hope in their bond. In the end, they married in a quiet park ceremony, surrounded by those who mattered. Alexander looked at Lily and saw not a shadow of the past, but a bright future. You didn't just remind me of her, he said. You reminded me of me, the man I used to be. And so, in a world that often feels cold and unforgiving, their tale whispers an inspiring truth: love doesn't erase pain, it transforms it. No matter how broken we feel, a single act of courage, like saying yes to one day, can open doors to healing, connection, and joy. It's never too late to start again. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that second chances are possible, hit that like button right now, it means the world to us. And if you want more emotional tales that inspire and uplift, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You never know which story might change your day. Thanks for watching.